Thank you. Hola. Lo siento, no habla español. Typical English guy, I'm sorry. We musicians, we always get asked to play. They say, will you come and do a talk? And I say, yes, I'd love to, thank you. And they say, oh, and of course we'll bring a piano so you can play too. I often think, well, what if Gordon Ramsay was coming here to talk about something? They wouldn't bring an oven on stage and say, cook us a fucking cake or something, would they? They just, but that's fine. I love playing. It's sad, but it's true, but this thing, it's kind of my best friend. A lot of you will know that piece, I imagine, that I just played. And some of you might know that it was written by Bach. And maybe a few of you will know it's his first prelude for piano in C major. But I'm going to say something now that I think most of you won't know. And this whole conference is about trust, isn't it? And I'm the anti-trust guy. I don't trust a fucking thing. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anything. But I do trust music, and I want you to trust me when I tell you this. There is not a single person in this room today or watching this online who would not be able to play that piece of music within a few weeks, even if you've never touched a piano before. So long as you've got 2 hands and 10 fingers, you would be able to play that piece in 5 or 6 weeks. I've just written a book that explains how to do it. It shows you how to read music, how to practice. You don't even need a proper piano. You can get a cheap electric keyboard and you can still do it. I just realized it's been 3 minutes into my talk and I've already plugged a book, and I'm really sorry. I'm not going to do that again. But the point is, it's music. That piece is, 90 seconds long, 2 minutes? It's 32 bars. It was written 300 years ago. And yet, within it, it contains the entire universe. It's a magical thing. I can't think of anything else in the world in which we live that is as universal as music. Possibly football. Not English football, because we're shit. Spanish football, definitely. But music is extraordinary. It goes, E.M. Forster said, Classical music is the deepest of the arts, and it goes deep beneath the arts. And it's one of those things, it's like it's a language that we don't know that we're all fluent in. It's amazing. And so learning an instrument, even listening to music, is something that I think we need more of in the world in which we live today. Because that world in which we live today, it seems to worship extroverts. And we see introverts as kind of freaks, to be honest. And I think it should be the other way around. Everything we do today is predicated on the idea that looking outside of ourselves is the right thing to do. You know, we post selfies on Instagram, and we are funny or argumentative on Twitter. We poke people on Facebook. We swipe on Tinder. We buy shit we don't need from Amazon. We eat junk food. We do so many things looking outside to try and make what's happening inside feel just a little bit better. And weirdly, we've got it the wrong way round. 2 weeks ago, I was in Madrid, and I was doing a concert here. And in the concert, I was playing a piece of Beethoven. And so in the morning of the concert, I walked down to the Prado Museum. Oh my God, what a place. And I went to see the Goya paintings. He did this series of paintings called the Black Paintings. And I did that because Goya and Beethoven have a lot of similarities. I guess most importantly, they went deaf at the same time, both of them. They were depressed. Goya was homeless. He spent time living under a bridge not far from here in Madrid. Beethoven was arrested once because the police thought he was a tramp, that he was homeless. But the real reason they're so connected is that they looked inside of themselves to express what was going on in the outside world. Goya painted the ugly truth that people needed to see. Beethoven ripped up the rule book, and he composed music that really for the first time in musical history was about feelings. It was about interiority, looking inside. It wasn't about the glory of God, making the people paying him happy. It was about feelings. And the truth is, all of us today, myself included, we have forgotten how to shut the fuck up and just sit and be still and just be. Things are so fast. We've forgotten how to listen, how to really listen and hear. If I say to my girlfriend, "Darling, what's wrong?" and she looks at me and she says, "Nothing, I'm absolutely fine." It's not just me, right? That happens to her. I know then whatever I say, I'm in trouble. It's just there's nothing I can say to that. If I say to her, "Baby, what's wrong?" and she looks at me and she says, "You know, this morning when you said that thing, it really upset me." Suddenly everything's different. And we have somewhere to go. We have communication and dialogue and honesty. And I often wonder what would happen if we were all a bit more honest about what was going on in the inside. It's an extraordinary thing to be able to do. It's a brave thing to do. Would the world be a better place? I don't know. Would it be a more trustworthy place? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. Like I say, I find it very difficult to trust. As some of you here know, I had quite a challenging childhood and upbringing. Lots of us have, of course. We all go through trauma in one way or another. And I wrote a book about it that some of you have been kind enough to buy, and some of you have even read it, which is very kind of you. And that book it's really a love letter to music, but it also talks about, it's basically a book about child rape and classical music. So it's a comedy. My publishers were so happy. Yes, this will be in supermarkets everywhere. Everyone wants to know about that stuff. But the truth is, the reason I bring it up is that it's a love letter to music, because music is the one thing that when bad things were happening, it literally saved my life. Even today, when shit's going wrong, listen to music and everything changes. You know, they say that the soul resides at that junction point between our inner and our outer worlds. that small space between dreams and fantasy and reality. And my happiest moments are when I get back to that place, even if it's only for a short time. That's where Bach and Beethoven, that's the space they inhabited and they created from. And I want to mention a word, I'm really sorry for mentioning it, the M word, mindfulness. Oh, mindfulness. I'm sorry. You know, I often thought mindfulness meant you kind of hire a fleet of commando monks with shaved heads and you climb up a mountain and you for 3 weeks while fasting. And Bach invented mindfulness. Playing the piano, listening to music, really listening, is mindfulness. It's where the magic happens. I'm not a religious man at all, but I've got a lot of faith. I've got a lot of faith, but no religion. But there is no greater proof for the existence of God than Bach, Beethoven, Prokofiev, Chopin, Liszt, Brahms, Rachmaninoff, Shostakovich, Stravinsky, Schubert, Schumann, Ravel, Debussy, Scriabin, Bartok, Hummel, Haydn, Mozart. Mozart, fucking hell, him on his own. Oh my God. And that is a much, much, much stronger list of things to help us connect to that part of ourselves than trimipramine, fluoxetine, citalopram, olanzapine, lithium, any one of the dozens of medications and drugs that I've taken over the years. And of course, medication is important. It kept me alive for a bit. But music is where the real magic happens, much more than drugs, much more than self-help books. I fucking hate self-help books. They're awful things. These books you buy, and the premise behind every one of them is that you have all completely fucked up your life. You've done everything wrong for decades. You're a complete failure as a human being. But if you read this book, I'll convince you to buy the next book I write that will say the same thing. And we don't need it because the truth is, the absolute fundamental truth is that every single one of you is a fucking miracle. You're all perfect just the way you are. And the reason to get in, the way to get in touch with that part of us is to listen and to connect and to celebrate this idea of interiority. And music, the saddest thing is that we know how powerful it is. We all know the impact it has. And yet, progressive governments all around the world have absolutely massacred music education. It's not just in England, although England is appalling. I was in the House of Lords 3 days ago, speaking to a big group of people all about music education, and I'll tell you something, none of them have a fucking clue what to do. They just haven't got a clue. They don't listen, they can't listen, they don't know how to fix it. And the truth is, unless you have money today, your kids aren't going to learn music. They're not going to know who Bach is. They're not going to know that piece. And so it falls on us as people who are creative and who love music and who are lucky enough to be able to listen and explore music to share that message. I think it's so important. One of the things I really want to do is to build, to develop an app, because we need more apps. There are not enough of them. And this app will celebrate interiority. And what it will do is it will provide you every day with a piece of classical music. I hate the phrase classical music, by the way. I'm sorry I keep mentioning it, but there is no other phrase that does it. The problem is classical musicians and the people in the industry, they're such assholes. They keep classical music up here in a little box just for them and just for a certain kind of audience who are well-dressed and educated and wealthy and they can understand it. And it's such bullshit. If anyone can suggest a better phrase for classical music, please let me know. I did that on Twitter and people were saying things like mind music or old music or shit music. But I like inner music. But every day what will happen is that you will find this app, it will send you a piece of music, it will go hopefully into classrooms in front of children, and you will send to people you love, you miss, you're thinking about, you'll send them a little piece of music and you will listen to it yourself, and just for 5 minutes a day, you will switch off and reconnect with that interior part of yourself and see what the impact is. So I'd like to do a little experiment now to kind of end. I'd like to imagine that I've given you all a free iPhone 7. I've given you all this app on your smartphones, and you pull out your smartphones and you open up the app, and now I want us to go really quiet. It doesn't matter that you can't see me now. This is about listening. I want us to learn how to listen again, to reconnect with that part of ourselves. I'm going to play you a piece of music by a composer called Gluck. It's really a love song. And when I'm playing it, I want you to close your eyes and trust what's going to happen to you. Trust, listen to your heart beating. Feel what a miracle you are. Trust that this music will tunnel into you and take you to a place that is safe and extraordinary and powerful. And I hope that every day you will find 5 minutes just to connect with something, some kind of inner beauty. And if it's not learning an instrument or listening to music, it can be painting or drawing or cooking or dancing or writing or photography or any one of 1,000 creative things that are a vital antidote to the fucked up, crazy, full-on world in which we live. And to me, that kind of inner beauty, it sounds a lot like this.